What is up, aka Padders? We're talking the Blue Beetle today. DC Comics' greatest comic book creation. I'll walk you through it. Let's go. Sit back down here. TGIF, aka Padders. Welcome back to the channel. Peter A. DeLuca here. Say with me. Known through Philadelphia, PA, Europe, and the multiverse as the Eclectic One. Get yourself some of that sippy. Welcome back. Ted Cord. You guys know who Ted Cord is? We're spitballing here, and we're going through just things that I hate that are done within modern comics. And you might say, hey Pete, like things change, get over it, move on. No, because a lot of times when moments happen in comics, not just in comics, in entertainment, I mean, there's no reason why we're constantly seeing these commentators and these articles come up that the Hollywood is crumbling, because the right people know it. Right, like you study something, you observe something long enough, you can see the cracks when they're happening. Now, that doesn't mean it's not hyperbolic. A lot of the times it is. A lot of times it's only hyperbolic. But in this moment, there was no commentary. Okay, and I'm going to just scoot over here real quick and show you guys Ted Cord getting his head blown apart by Bad Boy Max in the lead up to this book right here. Countdown to Infinite Crisis. Alright. Jim Lee cover, Alex Ross painted over Jim Lee. That was like a big deal back in the day. It was more like an interesting experiment. But the death of Ted Cord, the death of what really was the Blue Beetle for decades going into 2006. I remember when this book came out. It was hyped. It was people were excited for it. The lead-in to Infinite Crisis is just confusing. You can argue it is some of the true cracks of DC Comics. Infinite Crisis, not only launching with the death of Ted Cord, it pretty much reverted back to pre-crisis DC. And that concept alone is so confusing to even hardcore comic book fans, because there were decades worth of a unification of all the DC's characters, timelines, and what you would call Earths. And DC fell into a infinite, pun intended there, multiverse that they never really were able to get out of until Flashpoint. Flashpoint happens. And from there, we get this all-in bet onto the multiverse, and then DC's continuity is just forever shattered, yet to ever reveal itself, period. We don't know DC continuity anymore. We don't know what version of Green Lantern, what version of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and by version I mean the continuity thread of that character. Leading into Infinite Crisis, we can draw the death of Ted Cord all the way back to Infinity Crisis #1. With all of that said, we have a new Blue Beetle. We have a new Blue Beetle that premieres in this issue. New alter ego, new character, a boy, a kid. From Mexico, New Mexico, right? It's only a few panels, but I thought I would just set it up because a lot of people just seem to have questions of where this character came from and why. The reasoning is because they were seeking diversity even back in 2006 within the ranks of DC Comics. They wanted a more diverse slate. The Blue Beetle leads into a new Firestorm and vice versa. Now keep in mind, everything we're about to go through, the character that is revealed really lasted less than 4 years, which is pathetic when it comes to comic book terms. Right? Comic book terms, we want long, giant runs for a reason, because it gives you time to work the kinks out of the character. You roll in new creative teams, giant story arcs, and we have a fun book to read from month to month. This concept has escaped the entire comic book industry at this point, and it should just be noted that titles like Guardians of the Galaxy, Aquaman, they forever have short runs because inherently those concepts and those characters just don't carry over month to month for a very long time. Now, given I believe those two properties I just named work better in film than in comic, even though that they're comic book characters. This is a little bit of a duality. This is a little bit of a hypocrisy there, but hypocrisy is human nature, and we are hypocrites from time to time. Now, is Blue Beetle going to serve into that? Like, is Blue Beetle going to be a better film franchise than a comic book character? I'm going to say no. I'm just, there's nothing I see so far to, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not boycotting the movie like I did The Flash, but it's interesting. Now, it's interesting to see really what happens with Blue Beetle this coming weekend. A lot of the credit to hype up Blue Beetle, really goes to the marketing team. I love, look, the colors in the background here are the same colors Blue Beetle's been using for his marketing campaign. It's just cool. But the marketers are really the ones that we have to give absolute credit to, because the comic book side has done nothing for Blue Beetle, and right now Hollywood yet again steps in and validates comic book creations. This is a practice that is just more and more common that confuses me more and more. I try and make sense of it, but then I howl and rage at the moon. So let's just sit down, have a look at really what was the beginning of the modern day Blue Beetle that we know is complete garbage. Let's go. Alright, here we go, AKAPADers. Infinite Crisis. We're not going to get into too much detail. I do believe Infinite Crisis is 1000% worth discussing, is worth talking about. The reason is because this is where everything DC started doing just became confusing. Everything was a miniseries within a miniseries within a bigger event. It was frustrating as a fan. You couldn't just pick up one DC comic or a title. They were really force-feeding the entire line down everyone's throat. It didn't last. That's why Flashpoint became Flashpoint. So we just go through here. We have the Trinity. We have, there you go. This is a guy that kills Ted Kord, a meaningless comic book death of a legacy character with zero payoff in the future. Wonder Woman kills him because he kills Ted. We have these OMACs, and then we essentially just have all the big bad guys converging, right? They're teaming up, and they're just running amok, and that's a lot of what this is all about. While we have the introduction of Earth 2 pre-Crisis Infinity, Earth, and Earth 2 Superman, which was teased, but we get some cool deaths here. Deathstroke here, just faintly, he runs a blade right through her. Some of this stuff was shocking, but it wasn't 1000% there. This series is really the rise of Black Adam becoming a prominent villain, period, in DC lore, which was major. And then here we go, we have Earth 2 Superman breaking the glass. He punches, and this was something teased by Mark Waid years ago leading into this. This wasn't one of those great comic book payoffs, trust me, people. So we shoot ahead to issue 3, and we just have more chaos. We have, we have Spectre redefining some of the rules, but it's just chaos. The Amazonians are fighting against a purple death ray. One woman says war has just begun. Batman's having an existential crisis until Earth 2 Superman comes in and says hello. He fixes everything. We have a dying Earth 2 Lois Lane, Earth 2 Lex Luthor, always humdrum. And then here we go. We have our Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes, and his friends in El Paso, Texas. Sorry, I know I said Mexico earlier. I thought it was New Mexico. And we have an introduction of some new. We have a Blue Devil here, always a favorite. And C-level, D-level heroes in Texas, buildings crashing. Superman comes out of nowhere, saves the
skyscraper from falling. And then here we go, right over here. If you guys haven't seen, Reyes, our boy here. See, let's just go back right here. Jaime Reyes finds some kind of bug that maybe fell from the sky or something. And people, we're done. This is the introduction of the new Blue Beetle, new power set. Death of Ted Cord should never have happened. They never even brought back Cord in like a meaningful way, which is shocking to me. But yeah, people, that's it. Modern Comics, rock and roll. We can really look at this series as the beginning of the fall of the creativity of DC Comics, and that doesn't mean that the people involved are not great. Jeff Johns is one of the all-time great. Phil Jimenez is absolutely stunning here. But yeah, I don't know. I was as confused when this came out as I am now rereading it.
Okay, AKAPAD. I feel like it's been a little bit too long between doing comic book flip-throughs, comic book reviews, comic book discussions. I know a lot of you prefer that onto the channel versus some of my opinion, hot takes, or ideas. I don't really say that they're hot takes because I put a lot of thought into them. They're not very hot. They're more like fiery, nuclear takes. But no, people. We will be getting into more comic books very soon. Sometimes I just have to get over some of these humps. Some of those humps have to do with daily news rollouts and things I feel like we have to discuss and address that are relevant. But along the way, what I should be doing, and I was doing this before my big giant European vacation, was I was actually stockpiling comic book episodes while doing the daily commentary. And my goal for this channel is to really do two separate drops. One drop would be in the AM, most likely a comic book flip through, and the second drop before 12 midnight being one of a opinion. So you guys can get that going into the next day, and maybe by 9 o'clock, those of you who do have notifications going, you get double updates, 2 videos from Peter A. DeLuca, AKAPAD here, ready to go. So look, we're always trying, we're always struggling, just to do more, to do better, to get a little bit more accurate. But I hope you guys at least were able to get something from this, because we really see that the beginnings of a lot of comic book characters are humble. They're designed, but they're humble. So guys, subscribe, support, leave a comment, show this video to your cats. We're a cat-friendly channel here, and rock and roll. Have a good weekend. We got more videos coming. I love you guys.